There's something really weird and fascinating going on with modern AI. One minute, these models are just predicting the next word in a sentence. And then, seemingly overnight, they're writing code, they're solving really tricky logic puzzles, they're even explaining jokes. These are things they were never explicitly trained to do. So what is actually happening inside these things? Is it some kind of digital magic, or is there something else at play? That's the puzzle we're going to dig into. So in the world of AI research, there's a specific term for this phenomenon: emergent abilities. These are skills that just seem to pop into existence in large language models, or LLMs, once they reach a certain size. Nobody programmed them to reason or code. These skills just emerge. It's almost like the model hits a new level in a video game and suddenly unlocks a special power it didn't have a second ago. And this, right here, is the heart of a huge debate happening right now. Are we watching the first real sparks of genuine artificial intelligence, or are we just being tricked by an incredibly clever illusion, a kind of AI mirage that's created by nothing more than massive scale? To get to the bottom of this, we first need to take a little detour and talk about something much older than AI: human language. It turns out, to understand AI's weird new tricks, we have to look at this powerful secret that's baked right into our own language. It's a German concept, Sparsamkeit. It translates to economy or efficiency. But, it's not about being cheap with your words. It's about language having this deep, almost lazy instinct to find the absolute shortest, most efficient path to get an idea across. And you see this optimization happening everywhere. Think about it. Instead of making up a brand new word for every single concept, we just use a metaphor. We squish going to into gonna. We drop words if we know the other person will get it. We use pronouns so we don't have to keep saying the same thing over and over. This isn't something we consciously decide to do. It's language itself, just naturally evolving to be as efficient as possible. Look at this super simple example. Saying, "I kicked the big red ball." Feels clunky, right? But "I kicked it" is just smooth. It's faster. It's effortless. Our brains are basically hardwired to choose the path on the right. And that drive for efficiency isn't just a funny little quirk. It is a fundamental design principle of how we communicate. Okay, so let's look at how this principle lets us build incredible things from almost nothing. This idea of economy isn't just about saving a little effort. It's actually what allows us to build infinite complexity from very simple pieces. The physiologist Ivan Sechnov just hit the nail on the head with this question. Seriously, if we needed a unique name for every single chair, every tree, every face we've ever seen, our brains would literally crash. Communication would be impossible. So language had to find a more economical way to work. And here is the absolutely brilliant solution. Language builds in layers. It's like Legos. We start with just a handful of basic sounds. We snap those sounds together to make meaningful little chunks called morphemes. Those morphemes build a limited, finite set of words. But then, from that finite toolkit of words, we can build an infinite number of sentences and ideas. It's the ultimate generative machine. So this is the really big takeaway here. Language is not a giant, dusty dictionary. It's an economic system. It's a system for generating mind-boggling complexity. That efficiency, that Sparsamkeit, that's its superpower. Okay, part 3. Now we get to the fun part. Let's see if we can connect this idea back to AI. So we have this really powerful concept of efficiency from linguistics. Now let's bring it back to our AI mystery. What if, and this is a big what if these so-called emergent abilities aren't some magical leap toward consciousness? What if it's just the AI discovering its very own version of Sparsamkeit? What if developing these new skills is just the most efficient way for it to do its one simple job: predict the next word? Thinking about it this way completely changes how you see the debate. One argument says that what we're calling emergent reasoning is actually just in-context learning, a known technique that's just getting way, way better as the models get bigger. So you've got these two views. Is the AI genuinely developing brand new skills out of nowhere, or is it just becoming insanely efficient at its one original task? But, as this commenter pointed out, the line between these two ideas is incredibly blurry. I mean, if an AI gets so good at one thing that it looks like it can do a bunch of other complex things, isn't that a form of emergence in itself? It just goes to show how hard this stuff is to pin down. And this leads us to a really powerful parallel. Just like our language builds infinite complex meaning from a few simple sounds, maybe LLMs are building complex abilities from their simple task of predicting the next token. Emergence might just be the name we give to a system that gets so huge, its internal quest for efficiency starts to look an awful lot like intelligence to us on the outside. All right, let's wrap this up. Where does this new perspective leave us? What's the next big question? Well, this new lens allows us to ask a much more interesting and maybe more useful question. Instead of getting bogged down in, is it thinking? Is it conscious? We can ask something different. We can ask, what are the fundamental principles of economy that the AI is discovering all by itself? What do its internal pronouns look like? What are its metaphors? What kind of shortcuts is it inventing inside that black box to get better at its job? So, in the end, maybe the real story here isn't about magic or some ghost in the machine. Maybe what we're witnessing is a completely non-biological system discovering the profound, creative power of efficiency for the very first time. And watching a new kind of intelligence get born, one built not on magic but on a deep, fundamental laziness, well, that might just be the most revolutionary thing of all.